In the heart of the untamed wilderness, where danger lurks around every bend, there lived a pack of wild dogs. These weren't your ordinary canines. They were creatures of pure instinct, tireless and relentless. When hunger struck, they'd tear through the dense undergrowth of the forest floor, their powerful limbs churning up the soil as they pursued their quarry. Each member of the pack was a blur of tawny fur and flashing teeth, led by a battle-hardened matriarch whose every move exuded authority and raw power. Their days were spent in a symphony of motion, chasing, wrestling, running, always running. Their nights were woven with the sounds of the wild, the rustle of leaves, the hoot of an owl, the distant rumble of a tiger's growl. They were part of this cacophony, a harmonious blend of predator and prey in the grand orchestra of the jungle. One day, as the sun dripped honeyed light through the dense canopy above, the pack caught the scent of prey. It was a small deer, young and swift, but its fate was already sealed. As the dogs gave chase, their prey darted between the trees, the forest floor a trampoline of springing hooves. The chase was on, a ballet of hunter and hunt, but the drama was about to unfold in a way none of them had anticipated. As the deer dodged and weaved, trying desperately to shake off its pursuers, it found itself at the edge of a clearing. And there, standing in the center, calm amidst the swirling chaos, was a pregnant animal. This wasn't just any creature, it was an old sow, battle-scarred and wise. She'd seen countless seasons come and go, her body a testament to a life well lived, her eyes reflecting the wisdom of ages. She hadn't lived such a long life by being fast or ferocious. She'd survived because of her wits, her resilience, and an almost supernatural ability to sense what was coming before it arrived. For a moment, the chase forgot itself. The deer froze, its breath catching in its throat. The dogs halted, their tongues lolling out, panting heavily. The very air seemed to hold its breath, captivated by the tableau that had suddenly materialized in the clearing. Then, as if a switch had been flipped, the pack surged forward. The hunt was back on. The deer bolted, crashing through the undergrowth, desperate to escape. The dogs gave chase, their primal instincts taking over once more. All except the leader. She stayed rooted to the spot, her gaze locked onto the pregnant animal. The rest of the pack disappeared into the thick foliage, their barks echoing through the trees. But soon those echoes faded, replaced by the rustle of leaves and the distant thud of paws on soft earth. The leader, however, remained transfixed. Her eyes never left the pregnant animal, as if seeking an answer from its placid gaze. Time stretched and the silence deepened, broken only by the hum of insects and the distant call of a bird. The pregnant animal stood motionless, a statue of patience carved out of flesh and bone. The sun climbed higher, then began its slow descent, painting the sky in hues of amber and rose. Still, the leader stayed put, her instincts battling with an unfamiliar feeling that tugged at her wild heart. As darkness crept in, tendrils of blue and purple snaking across the horizon, the pregnant animal finally stirred. It took a step, then another, its belly swaying gently with each movement. It was a walk devoid of panic, a testament to the unwavering strength born of life's most vulnerable moments. And then, as if emerging from a dream, the pack reappeared, their eyes gleaming in the gathering gloom. The leader, with a low growl that rumbled deep in her chest, stepped forward. She was close enough now to see the wisdom etched into the lines on the pregnant animal's face, to feel the quiet strength that radiated from its unhurried steps. There was a moment of truth in those dark eyes staring back at her, an acknowledgement of shared existence in the grand theater of life. The leader felt something stir within her, a feeling alien yet strangely familiar. Was it respect? Was it understanding? Whatever it was a revelation that transcended the boundaries of their primal existence. She could have pounced her instincts, screamed at her to strike, but she hesitated. And in that hesitation, the pack's behavior shifted. They didn't press forward. They didn't challenge. They watched, as still and as silent as statues. Suddenly, the pregnant animal lifted its head and let out a soft grunt. It wasn't a sound of distress, but of quiet confidence, a sonic declaration of life's tenacity. The effect on the pack was immediate. They backed away, their postures shifting from predatory stance to something akin to retreat. The leader, caught between her instincts and this inexplicable pull, let out a questioning bark. It was a sound that spoke of confusion, of a mind grappling with an unfamiliar dilemma. In response, the pregnant animal took another step forward, its eyes meeting the leader's. There was a depth in those eyes, a life force so potent it seemed to reach out, to bridge the gap between hunter and prey. At that moment, the forest itself seemed to hold its breath, every leaf and twig hushed in anticipation. It was as if the very essence of the wild was gathered here, bearing silent witness to this extraordinary standoff. And then, as if by an unseen hand, the clouds parted, revealing a sky ablaze with stars. The forest floor was suddenly flooded with silver light, illuminating the scene in otherworldly glow. The pregnant animal stood bathed in starlight, a beacon of resilience in the face of primal hunger. The pack, encircled by the celestial display, looked on, their bodies tensed, their minds wrestling with an enigma they'd never encountered before. In the heart of the jungle, where survival was a daily battle, they were faced with a choice that defied their instincts. The pregnant animal, with the quiet dignity of one who has lived through countless seasons, stood firm. Its presence was a testament to the enduring spirit of life, a stark reminder of the fragility that comes with existence. As the night deepened and the stars wheeled overhead, the pack wind softly, their voices echoing the turmoil in their souls. The leader, torn between her duty to her pack and this profound respect for life, found herself at a crossroads. Her instincts told her to strike, to end the suspense, to feed her hungry kin, but a nascent empathy, born of the silent understanding that had passed between her and the pregnant animal, urged her to spare life. As the hours slipped by, the tension eased, giving way to a strange camaraderie. The dogs curled up around the pregnant animal, their rough tongues lapping at its flanks, their bodies forming a protective circle around her. It was an odd tableau, a surreal image of predators turned caretakers, united in a silent vigil that celebrated the miracle of life. In the ensuing days, an unusual routine formed. The pack continued to hunt, but always returned to the clearing. They brought back their kills, laying them at the feet of the pregnant animal, acknowledging her in their own primal way as the heart of their newfound understanding. They circled around her, sharing their food, their boisterous playfulness muted into a respectful quietude. As the sun set on the horizon, painting the sky in fiery hues of orange and red, the pregnant animal stood. It let out a soft sigh, a sound that spoke of contentment and readiness. With a final glance at the pack, it turned and walked towards a thicket of bamboo. The dogs watched, their bodies tense, their eyes reflecting the last rays of the setting sun. Moments later, there was a commotion from the thicket. Squeals and yelps pierced the air, followed by a heavy thump. Then a small head popped out, pink and wet, followed by another and another. The pack, their instincts momentarily forgotten, crowded around, their eyes wide with wonder as four tiny piglets tumbled out into the clearing. For a moment, the forest was filled with the joyous squeals of the newly born, the pregnant animal. Her eyes filled with a mother's love, nuzzled her litter, a primal scene of nurturing that transcended the boundaries of species. The pack, their primal instincts momentarily suspended, watched in awestruck silence. The leader, her gaze fixed on the newborn piglets, felt a surge of emotion, unlike anything she'd ever experienced before. In that moment, the hunt, the chase, the primal urge to kill, all of it faded into insignificance. All that mattered was the miracle unfolding before her eyes, the gift of new life in the heart of the untamed wilderness. The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the clearing bathed in the soft glow of twilight. The pack, united by an experience that defied their wild nature, settled down around the family of pigs. Their rough growls softened into gentle murmurs. The pregnant animal, sensing the shift in the pack's demeanor, let out a soft grunt, a sound that spoke of gratitude and trust. It was an accord forged in the crucible of instinct, hunger, and empathy, a testament to the unexpected bonds that can form in the wild. And so in the heart of the jungle, where life and death played out on a daily basis, there existed a pact, unspoken but powerful, between predators and their prey. It was a bond born of understanding, respect, and the quiet dignity of life in its most vulnerable and triumphant forms.